Mexico's Tren Maya is an impressive 1,554-kilometer train route that circles the Yucatan Peninsula. In this series, we take you with us as we explore the entire route. From amazing archaeological sites, crystal clear lakes, amazing beaches, colorful colonial towns, magical cenotes, and delicious local foods, we experience it all.
So today we drove about 5.5 hours from Palenque to the small town of Xpuhil.
And we ate dinner at a tiny little restaurant. This town is so small. I think it's the smallest town we've ever stayed in. We are going to be here for 5 nights because there are a ton of archaeological zones, the biggest and most famous being Calakmul, which we are going to go see tomorrow. But this morning we've gotten up bright and early and we have headed to Becan. So the name of the site, Becan, actually means trench in Maya, and the archaeologists named it that because it's the only Mayan site that actually has a moat.
And the moat actually goes all the way around the site, which is about 2 kilometers.
Yeah, very impressive.
So this is really great. The only other person here is the lawn guy, and of course a bunch of mosquitoes, so bring bug repellent.
Yeah, we have on jungle juice, which is a much higher percentage of DEET than most bug sprays, and David still has gotten a mosquito bite, so you have been warned. The first building we came to, I believe, is structure 4, which has a bunch of tunnels that you can work your way up the side of the pyramid to the top. Super cool. We're gonna go ahead and climb down the front and check the rest of this out.
This site was first settled around 600 BC. Its peak was between 600 and 1000 AD, and the population gradually decreased until the total disappearance in 1450. After climbing all over Structure 1, we made our way to the ball court. This site is definitely one of our favorites. There are tunnels, passageways, and staircases that give you the feeling that you are making the discoveries all on your own.
So we just made it to the top of Structure 9, which is the tallest building here. It is 32 meters high.
The steps are steep, but the good thing about these stairs is they are nicely spaced, so you're not really having to scramble. But this area is very flat, so you can see for what seems like forever over the tops of all the trees. Definitely worth the climb. And right before you get to the top, there's a giant face on the side of the pyramid that we didn't even notice from the bottom.
So we just drove about 1.5 kilometers from Becan to La Chicanná.
La Chicanná is a small archaeological site, but it is known as the House of the Mouth of the Serpent, and you'll see why in a minute.
So if you're visiting these Maya sites, it's a really good idea to go to the INAH site and download the maps for the area that you're going to be in because they're kind of spread out and you can really miss things if you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, very important. I think we kind of thought that we were done over at Becan and looked at the map and it was like, oh, there's a whole other section over here. So something to keep in mind. You can see here, this site has some really, really amazing carvings. And this site is associated with Becan. They think it was kind of a residential area for the elite. And they have records of people staying here as early as 300 BC and then up to about 250 AD.
All right, so we made it to structure 2, which is the serpent's mouth.
As you can see, it is awesome. It is super intricately carved. And one of the coolest things is we are the only people here at this site right now. When we were finishing up at Becan, 2 other groups did arrive, small groups, but we have mostly had the site to ourselves. And like I said, here there's nobody. I'm sure this is getting ready to change really soon though. We can actually hear the construction for the Maya train from this site right now. I'm sure once it is completed, this area will be a whole lot busier.
Yeah, normally in this area, you're supposed to be able to hear howler monkeys and see them. But I think because of that construction, they're not around in this area right now.
We're hoping that we'll be able to see them tomorrow when we go to Calakmul because the entrance to Calakmul is right off the highway, and then you have to drive an additional hour and a half into the reserve before you get to the ruins itself. So hopefully it'll be far enough away from the construction that we'll get to see some of the wildlife.
After 2 archaeological zones, we were starving, so we stopped at Sazon, Veracruz to enjoy a well-deserved late lunch.
Today started out a little bit rough. The sun wasn't out when we first woke up. Thought it was going to rain. And then I spilled a bunch of coffee on George's dress.
Yeah, so you may notice a little stain in this area.
But the day's looking up. The sun's out now, and we are now at Calakmul. It took us about 45 minutes to get to the entrance, and then another hour and 10 minutes down this really bumpy, windy road.
Yeah, and if you've seen some YouTube videos on this, it used to be that you paid an entrance fee at 3 separate points, but they've consolidated the first 2. So when you first get to that very first entrance, you pay 2 entry fees, 75 pesos per person to get into the ejido, and then an additional 104 pesos each to get the bracelet into the actual ecological park, and then when you get to the very end, you pay 90 pesos each to get into the archaeological zone. So now that we're in, we're gonna go check it out.
The first section that you come to is a set of apartments with a small central pyramid that has detailed paintings of daily life at the time. You cannot enter, but they have a recreation of the murals at the entrance. Some of the oldest structures date back to around 550 BC, and the city fell around 900 AD.
So you can hear that. It's howler monkeys. Can't see them yet. We just climbed our first pyramid, and you can probably see the pyramid behind us, the really big one. Really pretty views from up here.
Yeah, but one thing you might also be able to do is hear the howler monkeys. This area is known for having them, and they are incredibly loud.
So you see there's spider monkeys as well as the howler monkeys in the background. So we've made it to the very top of structure 2.
The view up here is fantastic. I think that this is the tallest building, but when you first get to what you can see as the top, you actually have to walk around the back to get to what really is the top. But the views are fantastic. We can see 3 other pyramids from here and a little complex off to the side. And as we were coming up the side, David was trying to take a picture of this kind of face carved into the side of the pyramid, and a little spider monkey dropped down to visit us. So really cool experience so far. We're gonna enjoy the view and the breeze up here because the sun is intense. It came out and it's here in full force.
At its height, Calakmul is estimated to have a population of over 50,000 people.
One thing you will notice is this barrier behind us. I don't think we're going to be able to go to the Grand Acropolis, which is a huge area with a bunch of smallish structures. We've come across like 3 paths to it, and they've all been blocked off, so that's pretty disappointing. I'm guessing maybe it has something to do with the Maya train coming through. There's just, as I said before, tons of construction everywhere, but at least we were able to see the 2 tallest structures and climb the pyramids, which was the thing I was most looking forward to. So we'll see if there's anything else we can see before we leave.
"6,750 structures have been identified at Calakmul. The portion of the site that is open to the public is a total of 2 square kilometers. However, the entire city is 20 square kilometers.
I think we probably walked about 8 or 10 kilometers in total. Basically, if you kind of look at the maps, most of the long and medium length paths were closed. You could only do the short route, but we kept trying to get back to the long route, and every way we went was blocked, so we did a lot of backtracking in an attempt to get over there. But really, really cool. Highly recommend coming here. But if you do come here, you really need to go to Becan and Chicanná as well, because in some ways those were even cooler yesterday. So love this area. I think we are going to drive the hour and a half out to the main road and find something to eat.
The food at this little roadside restaurant was some of the best we had in the area.
All right, another day, another archaeological zone. Today we've driven about 45 minutes to the archaeological zone of Balamkú, which is just past Calakmul, probably about 3 kilometers down the road. And the cool thing about this one is you don't have to drive the hour and 10 minutes or whatever down the road. It's just about a couple kilometers off the main road.
Yeah, and another great thing about this one is we're the only ones here. We are the only car in the parking lot, so we're gonna go check in and go check it out.
So I think we made it to structure 1.
There aren't a ton of signs here, but I think that's one of the things. If there aren't a lot of people, there aren't a lot of people paying the entry fee, so there aren't many signs, but it's very cool to kind of have the place to ourselves. This archaeological zone is known for a frieze that is found inside of structure 1. The lady came around and unlocked the door at first when we went up. I was like, oh no, there's a lock, we can't go see it. But she was like, oh, memento, and she came upstairs and unlocked it for us, and it is beyond
Yeah, it's
impressive.
incredible.
Because it is inside of the pyramid, it has been beautifully preserved. One of the issues is the Maya generally use soft limestone for their carvings, so they deteriorated really quickly in the heavy rains that this area has. And so like yesterday when we were at Calakmul, you could see a bunch of what used to be carvings, but you couldn't see the detail. This was so spectacular. So if you do make it to Calakmul, definitely go the extra 5 kilometers up the road and stop into this place, just if nothing else to go inside of Structure 1 and see the frieze. Well, you can see here that there are some ruins. We are actually in the center of town right now. The new town of Xpuhil was actually built on the ruins of the old archaeological site of Xpuhil. So there are 3 sites hidden in town, and then there's the one main site, which we are going to go to tomorrow. Headed about 40 minutes or so south to the archaeological zone of Hormiguero.
Once you get off the main road on your way to Hormiguero, it becomes very bumpy. There's a bunch of potholes, and then eventually it becomes a very narrow, muddy, and well, not really potholes, but like craters in the road.
The site of Hormiguero was found in 1930, and it was built between 300 and 950 AD when it was abandoned. There are 8 structures currently open to visitors.
So we just finished up the loop here at Hormiguero, and it only took about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a pretty small site, and the building that is behind us right now, that is by far the coolest one. The other ones, they're fine. As far as for carvings and stuff, again, this building does have quite a few, but I would say that La Chicanná was a little bit better if you're looking for carvings. So if you're pressed for time and you can skip one, maybe skip this one. It was free for us because it is Sunday, and it says that entrance is free on Sundays. It doesn't specify for Mexican nationals, but it does say that normally the entrance fee is 90 pesos.
Then we've driven back into town, and now we're at our final archaeological site, Xpujil.
And this archaeological site is actually walkable from town, and I don't know if you can hear, but there are huge trucks passing us right now because it is right off of the highway.
So we made it to structure 1, which is the largest structure here.
It is really cool. Especially what makes this unique is the fact that it has the 3 towers. Apparently most of the sites here are made in the Rio Bec style, which means that they just have 2. So the guy said that we could climb up to the first platform, and there are 4 buildings here. All of them you are able to climb on.
So if you come to the side of Xpuhil, come to the back side of structure 1. There's some really cool carvings back here.
Yeah, there's almost like a face on the main pillar. This is a wrap for us here in Xpuhil. We did spend 5 nights. We felt entertained the entire time. There isn't a ton to do other than the archaeological zones. If you wanted to travel fast, you could probably get it all done and just stay 3 nights. But I know a lot of people just do 1 and then they kind of do Calakmul and leave. And I think if you come all the way out here, you know, check out the Xpuhil site itself, check out Becan, check out Chicanná. The relief that we saw the other day was totally worth it. So I would recommend spending a little bit more time. There are some decent restaurants in town. We'll list them in a few minutes and let you know everywhere we ate and also what our total cost was, and we'll show you our hotel. Well, we spent the last 5 nights here at Hotel Via Calakmul. As you can see, we had parking right in front of our room. We were in room 3. Had 2 beds. We used that one for storage and the plug there for charging everything. Nice king size bed. Powerful AC unit. Little TV on the wall. Then we had this little seating area. Closet here. Sink outside the bathroom, so I was able to do my makeup there. And then you can see your toilet and shower, which surprisingly had decent water pressure and good hot water. It was a great location. We were able to walk to a few things, and it was an extremely reasonable price. So, highly recommend.
For restaurants, we recommend Sazon Veracruz, Asadero El Pollo Real for delicious charcoal grilled chicken, Ricky's Pizza, which had some of the best wings we had in Mexico, Balopkin for a great breakfast, and Antojitos Doña Evita for their affordable comida querida.
That basic but clean hotel set us back $197 for 5 nights. We spent $136 on transportation, $56 on entertainment, $34 at bars, and just $256 at restaurants. That brings our grand total to $679, or just $136 per day. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them down below. If you haven't already, check out last week's video where we visited Palenque.